This was supposed to be my unboxing desk, but after setting up the Desktronic HomeOne standing desk, it ended up becoming the centerpiece of my entire setup. Before we get into the review, I do want to be transparent. First, I want to say thank you to Desktronic for sending over the HomeOne standing desk, along with the drawer and the cable management tray. With that being said, let's talk about the desk. Before I show you how it looks in the setup, here's a quick look at the build process. I did record myself putting the desk together, so I'll let this part play as a quick time lapse. Overall, the assembly was pretty straightforward. My biggest advice is to lay everything out first, take your time with the frame, and make sure everything is lined up before tightening it. I also recommend to get some help because this desk is heavy. I did it by myself, but it's heavy. Once the desk, drawer, and cable management tray were installed, the setup really started coming together. And once it was built, that's when I started realizing that this desk might not stay as my unboxing desk. Now, why I wanted this desk? For me, my desk is a big part of my daily life. I work from home, edit videos, I film reviews, I manage content, answer emails, and I spend a lot of hours sitting right here. So having a desk that feels good, looks good, and actually works for the way I use my setup is important. I didn't just want a desk that looked nice for the camera. I wanted something practical, something that could handle my everyday workflow. And since I've been trying to be more intentional with my health, movement, and routine, having a standing desk made a lot of sense. Now, I did have a standing desk prior to this, but it was one of them Amazon budget standing desks, which is completely not in the same ballpark. But there's a budget for everyone. And I'm not saying that I stand all day, because I don't. But having that option to go from sitting to standing during the day makes a big difference. Sometimes you just need to move, stretch, reset your posture, and not feel stuck in the same position for hours. My first impression of the Desktronic HomeOne standing desk was that it has a really clean and modern look. It doesn't look too bulky, it doesn't feel out of place, and once I had it set up in my office, it started fitting the vibe of the room really well. Like I said earlier, this was originally gonna be my unboxing desk, but when I saw it in the space, I kept looking at it like, man, this might actually look better as my main desk. And that's when I decided to switch things around. I'm happy I did because it gave my setup a cleaner look and it made the whole space feel more intentional. When it comes to build quality, the desk feels solid. The frame is sturdy, the top looks clean, and overall it gives you that modern home office feel without trying too hard. I'll throw the main specs on the screen so you can pause and check them out. This frame uses a dual motor system and the lifting capacity is rated at 264.6 pounds. So the desk can handle a pretty serious setup. Monitors, lights, mic arms, camera gear, chargers, and accessories without feeling like you're pushing it too hard. For my setup, that matters because I need a desk that can handle a good amount of gear. I have my monitor, my keyboard, mouse, light, 2 mic arms, and sometimes camera gear on the desk too. So I need something that doesn't feel weak or cheap once everything's on it. And so far, the HomeOne has handled my setup really well. It gives me enough space to work comfortably, but it still keeps that setup looking clean. One of the main features of this desk is obviously the standing desk function. The height adjustment is smooth and it makes from switching between sitting and standing really easy. The desk moves at about 1.3 inches per second, so it's not slow or annoying when you switch in positions. And the height range gives you a good amount of flexibility whether you're sitting or standing. This is important because if a standing desk feels annoying to use, you probably wouldn't use it as much. But with this desk, I can press a button, raise it up, lower it back down, and get right back to work. Now let me show you how the controller works. You have your up and down buttons so you can manually adjust it to whatever height feels comfortable for you. Once you find the height you like, you can save it by using the memory presets. For me, this is really useful because I don't want to keep guessing my sitting height, standing height, or even the height that I like to use whenever I'm using my walking pad. So I can set one preset for sitting, one for standing, and another one for my walking pad setup. Then I can switch between them without having to manually adjust the desk every time. To save a preset, you choose the bold button once, then choose the number you want to save that height to. The same mode button is also used for a child lock. If you hold it down for about 5 seconds or so, it locks the controller, which is a nice feature if you have kids around or you just don't want the desk accidentally moving or bumping into it which has happened to me. The controller also has a USB port, which is convenient if you want to quickly charge your phone or a small device right from the desk. Another feature that it has is that you can change how the preset button works. You can have it set where you're holding down the preset number and the desk moves while you're holding it, or you can set it up like I have it. You press the preset once and the desk automatically raises or lowers to the saved height. For me, I prefer the one touch preset because I can just tap the button, let the desk move, and get right back to work. The motors are also rated under 50 decibels, so when you raise or lower the desk, it's not loud or distracting. Another feature which is worth mentioning is the anti-collision system. Since the desk moves up and down, it's nice to have that extra safety feature in case something gets in the way. Whether it's your chair, a cable, the drawer, or something underneath the desk, the anti-collision feature is there to help stop the desk from forcing itself onto something. You can also adjust the sensitivity through the controller settings. I'm not going to go too deep in the setup, but there are a few sensitivity levels on how responsive you want the anti-collision to be. The sensitivity levels are 10.5 for maximum sensitivity, 10.6 for medium sensitivity, and 10.7 for low sensitivity. For most people, you probably won't need to mess with that too much, but I do like that that option is there. For me, that's a nice feature to have, especially with a setup like this, where I have cables, accessories, where most of the times I have my chair underneath the desk. It's one of those features that you may not think about every day, but it gives you a little more peace of mind. Now let's talk about stability. This is one of the biggest things that people worry about with standing desks. At a standing height, like most standing desks, you may notice a little bit of movement depending on your setup and how much weight you have on the desk. But for my everyday use, typing, editing, browsing, answering emails, and filming content, it has felt solid. I don't feel like the desk is bouncing all over the place while I'm working, and that's important, especially when you have a monitor and camera gear around. You want the desk to feel secure. For my setup, the stability has been very good. Desk space is another big thing for me. I like having room for my keyboard, my mouse, notes, coffee, or whatever gear I'm using that day. The HomeOne gives me a good amount of space without making the room feel overwhelmed. The one I chose is 60 inches by 30 inches. You want at least 30 inches of depth for your setup to have a good amount of space for your keyboard and stuff like that. And it works well as my main desk because I can't keep my everyday setup on it and still have room to move. For creators, this is important because one day your desk is for editing, the next day is for filming, and the next day is covered with products, cables, and camera gear. So having a desk that can handle that type of workflow is a big plus. Desktronic also sent over the desk drawer, and honestly, I think this is one of those accessories that makes the setup look cleaner. I like a place to put the small things that usually end up cluttering the desk. Things like cables, adapters, memory cards, pens, remotes, small accessories. Sometimes I even have my portable monitor in there, which is about 15 inches. And it fits perfectly well. The drawer helps keep the surface clean, and for me, that makes the setup feel better. I used to have a cluttered desk. Now I realize that a clean desk helps me focus more, and especially when I'm working from home and filming in the same place. The cable management tray is another important piece, especially with a standing desk. Because the desk moves up and down, you really have to think about your cables. You don't want cables pulling, stretching, or getting caught when the desk moves. So having a cable management tray helps keep everything tucked away and cleaner underneath. I still think cable management is something you have to take your time with. It's annoying, but you have to take your time with it. You can't just throw everything under and expect it to look perfect. But having that tray definitely helps. It gives your power strip and cables a place to live, and it makes the setup feel more finished. After using this desk, the biggest benefit for me is flexibility. I can sit when I want to sit, stand when I need to stand, and adjust the desk depending on what I'm doing. If I'm editing for a long time, I can raise it up and stand for a bit. If I'm using my walking pad, I can bring it to the height that feels comfortable for that setup too. If I'm filming a product shot, I can adjust the height to make it easier. If I'm just answering emails or doing my everyday work, I can bring it back down and use it like a normal desk. That's what I like about it. It doesn't feel like a gimmick. It actually fits into my workflow. And because it looks good in the setup, it also makes me want to keep the space cleaner and more organized. So here's what I like about the Desktronic HomeOne. I like the clean design. I like that it fits well in a creator setup or a work from home office setup. I like the smooth height adjustment. I like the memory presets. I like that you can save different heights. I like that it has a child lock built into the controller. I like that the controller has a USB charging port. I like that it has a dual motor system. I like that it can lift up to 264.6 pounds. I like that it's quiet while moving up and down. I like the adjustable anti-collision feature. I like that it feels stable for my everyday work. And I really like that it helped me make my setup feel more complete. The desk drawer and the cable management tray also makes a big difference because they help keep everything cleaner. One thing I would recommend is for them to either sell casters. These didn't come with casters. Check their website, don't see that they have casters. I already had caster wheels from my previous desk and I immediately put it on this because in my opinion, having a standing desk without caster wheels is a little bit tough because I like to move my desk around. So that just makes it easier. It's not a knock, but it's just something to consider. But for me, this desk didn't just become another piece of furniture. It became a part of my actual workflow. Now, Nothing is perfect. With any standing desk, cable management is something that you need to plan out. If you have a lot of gear like I do, you want to make sure that the cables have enough slack when the desk goes up and down. You also want to make sure that you choose the right size desk for your room and setup. And also I would have loved for them to include castle rails or give you that option to purchase it. You can purchase them on Amazon. Makes the desk more easy to move around. And for me, having a standing desk, you should have castle wheels as a creator, but that's just me, my opinion. Anybody has their own opinion, but that's my recommendation. And before buying any desk, I always recommend measuring your space first. Think about your monitor, your speakers, your mic, your keyboard, your mouse, monitor riser if you have one, anything else that you plan to keep on your desk. Because the desk itself can be great, but if you choose the wrong size for your space, it can throw off the whole setup. Now, who is this desk for? I think the Desktronic HomeOne desk is for someone who works from home, creates content, edits videos, games, or just wants a cleaner and flexible workspace. If you spend a lot of time at your desk, having the option to sit, stand, or even use a walking pad can really help break up the day. And if you really care about how your setup looks, this desk has that clean, modern look that works really well on camera. So whether you're building a home office, upgrading your creator lab, or just trying to make your workspace feel more comfortable, I think this desk is worth checking out. So overall, the Desktronic HomeOne standing desk has been a really good upgrade for my setup. I originally thought it was going to be my unboxing desk, but once I saw it in the room, it just felt like it belonged as my main desk. If you want to check it out, I'll have that link down in the description. Again, it's an affiliate link, so it helps support the channel at no extra cost to you. If you have any questions about the desk or my setup, drop it down in the comments. And if you're into desk setups, tech reviews, creator gear, building a workspace that helps you create, or just lifestyle content, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.